Seth Robertson Smash, brand new Evil Dead, brand new Perfect Dark! Hey guys, how you doing? My name is codename Big Bear, or Stuart if you want to call me by my first name. Now, everything I mentioned in the cold open, I'm not going to be talking about in this video. You can probably guess that by the title of the video anyway. I'm actually going to be talking about a game called the Indigo Prophecy, which is the American title, Fahrenheit, which is the European or PAL title, but to be honest, I do think it should be called Celsius when it's in England, because that's what we measure temperature by, but either way, it's a silly, stupid joke. I'm just going to go over here. So as I said, we're going to talk about Fahrenheit. The reason I'm talking about that is because in the new year, in Q1, we're going to get a 15th year anniversary of this game, and it's a game I actually love. I played it when it first came out. I say when it first came out, I probably played it about a year after it came out originally. And it was on the Xbox, the original Xbox, and when I played it, I finished that game and then immediately put it back into the console, immediately started it again. And I did this 5 times. It was like, seriously, 5, one after the other. I had a break for sleep, I had breaks for, like, you know, eating, blue breaks and all that. But yeah, I had time off college, and I also had time off work, so I was just able to play video games over and over again. This game took over my life for those pretty much couple of days. And I honestly, thinking back, I'm sure why. The story was really great, don't get me wrong, I love the story. The gameplay was the weird thing about it, because yes, you do control Lucas Kane, and you move him around the whole area, but then mostly it's all QTEs, all quick time events. And it was a game that was pretty much solely that, and I don't think I've ever experienced anything like it. It really just gripped me. The whole idea of the whole premise of it completely gripped me. So what is the game about? Let's go back a bit. So basically, you're playing a character called Lucas Kane. You also play another character as well who's investigating something, but I'll get into that in a second. But Lucas Kane is in a diner somewhere during the winter period, hence me talking about it as well, because there's a lot of snow as well. But he kind of, he's in a bathroom stall, and all of a sudden he's in a trance, and he's cutting into his arms, he's making like snake patterns, gets out of the bathroom stall and murders somebody. And then comes out of the state and you're like, oh dear, and that's when you start the game. You start the game immediately after he's killed somebody. You've got to clean up the mess. And well, it's one of the, you've got a few choices. You can either just walk out, you can wash your hands, you can mop up, you can hide the body, you can do quite a few things, and this will dictate what happens a little bit later in the game. But as you come out of the bathroom, there's a police officer that walks in, so you've now also got to react to that as well. And it's really tense, and it's a really cool little segment of the game. Yeah, so essentially that's the whole game. You are playing Lucas Kane, you are trying to figure out what the heck just happened to you, because you killed somebody and you don't know why, you're in some kind of trance, and you've got to obviously escape the police, and the police are investigating, you're also investigating Lucas Kane, you're playing as that character, and you're trying to figure out who he is and why he's killed somebody, and it's all this intertwining story. There's tons of backstory about Lucas when he was a kid, and the kind of things that he would experience as a kid as well. Again, so at one point he's on like a military camp, which honestly is the worst level of the game. I had a lot of issues with that bit, and it was a bit annoying, but kind of important for the story, so it's good from there. Yeah, and when you're playing the game, you move your character around normally as you would do, and you pick up items, and you kind of, yeah, if you play Heavy Rain or any kind of, any like, you know, Beyond Two Souls or anything like that by what's his face? David Cage. Any game by David Cage, you kind of have a rough idea how this game controls. Except that you set the movement of the controller itself to make things happen, like on a PS4, you just use the sticks, and it kind of helps out that way. Or you press buttons. Press buttons and a stick. I honestly can't remember. It's been a long time since I've actually played this game, probably about 15 years or so. But it has been a really long time since I played this game, but it's a game I genuinely love. Yeah, so you kind of use these sticks, you've got these patterns, you've got these circles come up on the screen, and you hit the lit up bits to make things happen, and then yeah, if you fail, you fail the scene, and you've got this like stress meter going on for Lucas to deal with, and the stress meter is kind of like his insanity meter. Basically, is how depressed he's getting, or how insane he's going, or something along those lines, and that is your health. If it gets too low, you out. that's done. If you get, you know, if it gets too high, well, it's fine, because you're just going to survive. Yeah, and it's kind of one of the first games that I ever saw that really had this kind of feature, that featured, like, you know, the stress of the character in the game, and, you know, how that's going to, you know, react for the rest of the game. Now, the reason I'm talking about it is because just the other day, they announced, as I said, in February, or in Q1, sorry, 15th year anniversary of Fahrenheit is coming out. With kind of, it's a remaster, so it's not full, like, updated graphics, which would have been honestly really nice. I'd love to see this with all the most realistic graphics and everything else in the world, but, you know, it's just getting that kind of little polish. So, you know, originally, like, people's hands were very blocky, and you couldn't really see much detail on hands. You know, fingers wouldn't bend or anything. But now you can see that fingers bend a little bit, and everything's smoothed out, and it just kind of looks nicer. It basically looks like how you remember it looking, rather than you going back to the game and going, "Wow, this game's ugly." You know, I think the facial features have been slightly improved as well. That kind of thing. Now, it's only available on PS4. I imagine it will be on PS5 as well, but for some reason, it's only available on PS4, and I don't get why. This game was originally out on the PlayStation and the Xbox. It was out on a couple of consoles. So why we're not getting an Xbox version, I don't know. Especially considering that the publisher, David Cage's team, are no longer tied to PlayStation exclusively. So why? And you know, what benefit does this have for them? So they're just kind of releasing it on PS4. I mean, the new console is out, PS5 is out. So why not have it on that as well? Probably will do in a digital format, you know, I don't know, but there's no news on it. I can't find anything on it mentioning anything like that at all. It's not on the Xbox again, it'll be perfectly suited for the Xbox. It was on the Xbox originally. And why is it not on Switch? The game isn't huge. You can definitely run this game on Switch. We've got games like Siberia on Switch, and they're pretty big games, similar kind of art style, kind of, you know, scope and everything else as well going on them. And obviously you have games like The Witcher 3 running on Switch, so you can definitely run this one. Why isn't it on there? I would love to play this. You sat on a bus or something on the way to work, or, you know, traveling to see my parents when we can finally travel. You know, playing this game, like, you know, this kind of interactive murder mystery story on the Switch on the go. It'd be perfect for it, but why is it not there? I really think the game would benefit from it, to be honest. But, you know, it's just kind of baffled me a little bit. I don't really know why. Now, from what we have seen, like I say, it's coming out on PlayStation 4. It comes with some postcards. It comes with, I think, a little art book and a nice little steel tin, or, you know, it's a fancy box, which is cool. It's great. You know, it's fantastic. I'm really hoping it's not massively expensive. I know it's not massively expensive. It's like £24.99. 25 quid for this game is pretty good. I mean, it is an old game. It doesn't have all the new fancy polish that you get. Considering you got a Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy for £30, you know, I think that might be a little pricey, maybe wait a little bit, but that's something I will probably do, unless, you know, like, you know, somebody's nice enough to send me a code and I get to play it that way. I'm going to be waiting to pick up this game at some point, and I really want to see if it comes out on these other consoles. I just don't understand why it's only on PS4. It just seems so silly to me right now. Especially again when we've got the new consoles out and there's no exclusivity deal, and why wouldn't you want to expand this and get this story out there to people that, if you've ever heard of it, you may know a bit about the ending and how ridiculous it is. You want to go, wait, how does this game play out for the ending? Or you've heard about the opening scenes, which I've just told you about earlier, you know, and you're just like, that sounds really cool. I really want to investigate this game and figure out how the stress meter works and how the quick time events work and what kind of differences I can do for my character and make things happen differently as you're playing as well, because you do have different outcomes throughout the entire game. And that's the reason why I played it like 5 times in a row, was because I was just trying different stuff all the time. Don't get me wrong, there was a few times where I got the exact same thing going on because I was, wow, okay, you know, I've died, I've you know, stressed him out too much, and he's just kind of fallen into a, you know, poor mental state, or he's been arrested, or something on his lines. Yeah, and I just really think that this game will benefit from multiple consoles, and I don't want to see it on multiple consoles. And the reason I'm talking about it is just purely that. I just want to make that case. You know, this is a very cool game. You know, it's going to be interesting going back to play it now, because I don't have a copy of it anymore. If I do, it is at my parents' house, and that's over 100 miles away. And it's on the original Xbox, and I don't have one set up. I do have one here, but I don't have one set up. and I just want to be able to experience this game in the way that you would want to. You know, you want to have it on the best console possible. Yes, the only consoles I do have are the current last generation. I don't have a PS4 or Xbox Series X. I have PS5 or Xbox Series X. I have PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. But you know, I want to experience it on the Switch because the Switch is just the most fun. I know I talk about it so much. I know it's all I pretty much talk about on this little program. But you know, one of those. Anyway, I feel I've rambled on a little bit too much. It's a nice short video for you today, guys. But let me know what you think down below. Like, share, subscribe. You know, you comments. What do you think about Fahrenheit or the Indigo Prophecy? Do you want to see it on multiple consoles? Do you think the 15th year anniversary edition that's just kind of given it a nice little polish is a good idea? Would you like to see it with full-on amazing graphics that you would expect from a David Cage game? Because I know I certainly would. But again, let us know in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe. We have tons of stuff all on our website and stuff like this as well. And most of all, don't forget to be nice to each other, yeah?